So I just got out of the theaters from watching Fantastic Four. So let's talk spoilers. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geek City. And just to remind y'all, this is a spoiler review. If you have not seen Fantastic Four and you do not want to be spoiled, go watch the movie, then come back here. So let's not waste any time and get straight into this. I want to start off by giving my basic thoughts. I'm happy to say it was pretty fantastic.
Say that again?
But for I really enjoyed this movie. I think setting it in a different world was what really I think made the movie special, in the sense that taking place on the MCU world, I feel like we kind of ruined the stakes of the movie, because Galactus, there's no way he would destroy the planet, because we have 5 more movies to do. But taking it and putting it on a different universe, you actually have stakes where it feels like, oh my gosh, Galactus might destroy this universe. Maybe they go to the other one, and that's how they get involved in the MCU. But that was the thing about it. And just overall, the vibe of the movie with that 60s aesthetic, it looked really good, and it was just a nice change of pace from the normal MCU. So that was great to see. So I loved the 60s vibe that this movie had. But I just want to kind of deep dive in here. We'll go talk about the plot. And I thought that the interesting thing is there's not a lot of action in this movie. This movie is mostly just dialogue and character building, but I think it benefited. There's only 2 real action scenes. Let's talk about that with you have the family finding out Sue is pregnant, and then Silver Surfer shows up saying, "What's up, y'all? Galactus is gonna eat your planet," basically. And you have that fun little chase scene. But then you have them going to space to try to find Silver Surfer and Galactus, and that's when you get probably my favorite sequence in the whole movie, when they go to visit Galactus. And also, Galactus looks insane. The CGI in this movie is great. And the Galactus basically says, I will save your planet if you give me your child, Franklin. And obviously they are opposed to that. But they have this really fun chase scene, and Sue is having to deliver the baby while Human Torch is having to shoot at Silver Surfer. You have the Thing driving. And just the dynamic of the team in this movie is great. I thought that you could tell that these people look at each other like a family. Not just the Avengers who work together. No, this is a family. They are a family that live together and care about each other. And so that chase scene was probably the best part of the movie. And they return to Earth and they tell the people, we're gonna stop this, but Galactus wanted our child. We didn't give it to him. So obviously the media and everybody's mad, because they're like, why just give the baby away so that we can live? And you have Sue kind of talking to them and saying, we will find a way to stop this. We will find a way. And that's kind of when you get to the second act of the movie, where, again, just a lot of it is slow. You have Human Torch learning the language of the Silver Surfer. They kind of had a lot of interesting scenes. And then you had them having this idea where they're basically going to build these little their goal was to send Earth to another area in the galaxy, which on paper you can think about that and be, okay, that wouldn't work. But it's a movie, so. But when they're about to do it, Silver Surfer destroys it. And I mean, that final battle where they basically they work with the Mole Man. And Mole Man is able to help evacuate the city, get all the New York citizens in the sewers, in the underground layer. And I thought the Mole Man was a lot of fun. And then you had that final battle, and Sue almost dies, but they are able to send, or Silver Surfer is able to kick him into Galactus into the different universe. That's the plot of the film, and yeah, it works. It's great. I think the idea of there's only really 2 big action scenes here, but I think it benefited from that. You get a lot of just great character moments, and that's when let's talk about our 4 main people here. First up, we have Mr. Fantastic, which when they announced that Pedro was going to play him, I was hesitant. I didn't know how he would do, but I was sold. I think he did a really good job. I thought that he really embodied Mr. Fantastic. I think he did a good job. You know, Mr. Fantastic is such a flawed character, and the thing is, they kind of went in a different direction because they could have just done like what they did with him in the comics, where he's like kind of flawed, kind of snappy, but he's a good dude. But we already have that with Iron Man and Tony Stark, so they did it a little different, where Mr. Fantastic is just brutally honest, and that can cause a lot of division with like him and Sue about deciding should they give up the baby. So I thought that dynamic was really good. Obviously, Vanessa Kirby was really good. She got a lot of great moments this time. I think The Thing was probably the one that got the least amount to do. He still had, some scenes, and they kind of set up a little romance. So he still got stuff to do. But out of all the four, he kind of had the least amount of stuff to do. And then the Human Torch, I was a little nervous, about Eddie, playing Joseph Quinn. I was a little, worried about that. But I think he knocked it out of the park. They did a good job at balancing, Johnny, he is a playboy, kind of, he's wild, he's, kind of immature, loves girls, but he is still smart. Like, he's kind of a scientist, you have scenes where he is able to figure out the language. Obviously he didn't do it as fast as Ree would, but he still did it. And, he wants to go to space more and stuff like that. So we still, they did a good job at balancing, likes to flirt with girls. He thinks, Silver Surfer is kind of sexy, but then there's also, he is smart. Like he contributes a lot to the team. So they're all four, I think, did a great job. They had a great dynamic. The only thing I wish is that Johnny got to say "Flame on." Thing said it's clobbering time. I don't know why Johnny didn't say "Flame on," but that's just a little nitpick. My one flaw with this movie is I think it could have been a little longer. I think it needed to be a little longer. And I think I could, like, for example, Superman is also kind of short. Not short, but, 2 hours. And I think it needed to be long. I didn't think it needed to be longer, but I wanted it to be longer. Like, I wanted more to see more. But with this movie, I think it actually did need to be longer. Like, there's, like, whole characters that were cut from the film. And I think it needed, like, 10 to 15 extra minutes just to kind of, there's a lot of cool scenes from the trailer that were cut out. And you can kind of feel the runtime a little bit. Didn't need a whole, hour or anything. Just like, I feel like an extra 15 minutes, extra 10 minutes, something along those lines. I think the film would have actually benefited from that. So that's my one flaw with the film. And but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I think that this movie is a nice change of pace from a lot of the MCU stuff. I really enjoyed the 60s aesthetic. The team, all four cast members, did a great job. They have a great dynamic together. The fight scenes, when you get them, they look beautiful. Galactus was a really fun antagonist. I really enjoyed what they did with the Silver Surfer. So, overall, I thought it was pretty fantastic. I'd give it I think a 8 out of 10. That seems fair. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section what you would give this movie. I'm interested to hear people's thoughts on it. But let's talk about that end credit scene really quickly here, which is very, very important. Basically, the planet is saved, which a lot of people thought Galactus was going to destroy this planet, and that's why the Fantastic Four had to go to the MCU Earth. But that didn't happen. They saved the planet, but they take a 4-year time gap. Franklin is now talking, and Sue goes to grab him a book, and when he comes back, he sees Dr. Doom holding Franklin. You don't see Robert Downey Jr., but you see his suit. And I'm really interested how they're going to play into Doomsday. I think what's probably going to happen is Dr. Doom might take Franklin, and maybe they have to go to another dimension to find people who can help them. And that would probably be how Dr. Doom gets involved with the MCU. So, let's theorize for a second here. Let's say the Fantastic Four, Franklin is taken by Dr. Doom, right? So they go to the MCU and they say, we need your help, we need heroes. But while they're doing that, that leads Dr. Doom to that planet, maybe, because I don't know how the X-Men are involved in all that stuff yet. I'm just theorizing here. That maybe that's what they do. But it's obvious Dr. Doom is interested in Franklin. He wants Franklin, as seen by this scene. So I'm interested. I'm assuming the movie will pick right up with that because kind of like what they did with Thor Ragnarok, where it ends with Thanos' ship coming, and then Infinity War started with the ship destroyed and everything. So that's what I'm assuming is what they're doing. That's probably where it's going to go. So that's kind of my theory is Franklin is probably taken because it's set up by Galactus that Franklin is a very powerful force. Because in the comics, Franklin is like stronger than all of them. He can create dimensions. He can manipulate reality. So I think he's probably going to be a major player. And there's a part of me that's worried about transitioning them to the MCU. Like, let's say they, after the reboot, they keep this cast and stuff, and they do a Fantastic Four 2, and it's on the MCU planet. Like, I'm worried the transition to the MCU is going to kind of ruin what I thought this movie did so good, That's what I'm kind of worried about. But there's so many unanswered questions, and I'm really excited to see where they go from here. So I want to hear what y'all think. I want to know what y'all thought about the movie. Did you enjoy it? What are some of your flaws? We can have a fun discussion in the comment section. And then also let me know what you think is going to go next. Like, where are they going to go with this, with Doomsday, and how the Fantastic Four are going to be involved. I'm really excited to hear about that. So I hope you all enjoyed. Let's make sure to like, subscribe. And make sure to subscribe because we are really close to 1,000 subscribers. Right now we have 992 last time I checked. I really want to get there to 1,000. My goal, I really want to get monetized by the end of 2025 because that would help me improve the quality of the channel a lot. I could get new equipment. I'd be able to buy a lot more books. Like, for example, that Daredevil reading order is taking a lot of time. It'll probably be done by December, January, Christmas. But, if I have money from YouTube, plus doing a job or whatever, those reading orders and reviews of new omnibuses would be able to happen a lot more because I would have more money to spend for college plus YouTube. So if you want to subscribe or watch, get my watch time hours up because I believe I need 4,000 and I'm at like 2,000 something. So I'm getting there. So if you want to help with that, you don't have to, but please consider liking, subscribing, and as always, stay geeky.